Well, the season has started and we've got our first victim here in the garage. And this is a 1999 Seadoo GTX. This one has the 787 engine in it and has a cranking problem. So we're gonna get into it, check the battery, starter, you know, all the usual suspects. So let's get the seat off and get right into this thing. Seat coming off. And maybe we'll just verify. Oh, tether was on there. Double beep. That sounds like a battery issue. So let's get a meter on there, see what we got for bat volts, and go from there. I guess I should take this out. And checking bat volts. .5. So why would that be? I'm just going to put the tether on. Drops right down to 7 volts. Okay. Let's just get at the relay. Make sure there's nothing weird going on here. Sorry, ground there. 12.5. So that goes from there to there, goes to the starter. Just using 2 wires because there's a lot of amps for just one, but maybe it won't clip on. Not really. Okay. I want to see if this engine is locked up. So we are going to pull the spark plugs and we're going to take off this cover here and see if we can roll the PTO manually. The engine rolls over, then we know it's a starter. And spark plugs coming out. Look at these weird covers. I saw these before, but they were never on any machine. Not really sure. Threaded inside and everything. It's the weirdest thing. Okay. Okay, just gonna see if I can roll over the PTO. All right, I guess we have confirmation. We have a starter problem. Let me just try rolling it over now with the starter. Yeah, definitely an issue. All right, starter's coming out. Okay, so to get to the starter, first thing we're gonna do is take this cover off. See how much we have to take apart. And of course there's two clips that are in the worst spot ever. Come on. Oh, yeah. And we got to take this off, which comes off with that Allen bolts. So let's do that. Don't do that. That's where you get stuck. And you can't get it in reverse and you're jammed. Man, what a pain. Can't get them out by hand. Can't get a ratchet in there. And the ratchet jams against the side of the hull. And then you can't get it in reverse. Ooh, that was fun. And find everything on the machine is virtually impossible to like it won't go that way. Stuck. Who wants to see where the starter is? Right down there, you can follow the thing down, the power. Okay, let's see if we can get at some bolts. Okay, so if you can see down there, there's a nut on the starter that we have to remove on this side, but that doesn't take the bolt out. It's threaded in through the starter, so we have to take the bolt out from the front side here, which is an Allen key. So not much I can film of that. I'll try, but I don't think so. We can hardly see it. Let's see what happens when I take the nut off. Okay, nut is removed. Now we got to get on this side, way down there, and try and get the bolts out. See what happens. She's a toughie. There's an oil return line in the way. And this top bolt is not a hex. Something's weird. I think that is a hex. Confirmed. It's a hex. That's what I thought. There's a 10 down there as well. Wow, no room. Just to give you an idea. Look at what I'm dealing with over here. There's the wrench down there. Every line is in the way. Hooks on the water. Slowly coming out. Enough of the lazy man way. I'm not gonna fight this. I didn't want to have to open this up. There's no way to get in there. No Loctite on those, that's odd. And one more here. Oh, is that the one that's gonna get me? honestly, that is a nightmare. Okay, that doesn't work. That doesn't work. Look at, no way to get in there. Can't put the socket wrench on. Maybe I'll have to put a wrench on that and rotate it. Jimmy rig here. Oh, look at the oil in the bottom. Okay. What could they be thinking? No. Ah. Just going with the rounded end one now. I can just kind of hold it and spin it out. Sockets underneath the motor again. And that one's under the motor now. So we got 2 parts under the motor. Perfect. 13 mil bolt right here. No. Is that tightening? Got that bolt. And there is one more bolt down there, a clamp. So I'll take that clamp off and then we'll pull the exhaust out. And a little rat-a-tat-tat. Cutters. And see if we can get this separated and out. Is there another bolt? Uh-huh. Hey, good news, found one. One more 13 mil. Wow. That one's right up against the engine mount. What the frig? Like you couldn't engineer this more difficult. Come on, baby, come out. No. Ain't gonna move. Usually you can lift these out, but it's not looking like it. Okay, exhaust is not going to come out without pulling everything apart. So now I got a hex on the bottom. Can't get the wrench on it. So I need shorter than this setup. And that was the socket that fell into the bilge, which I found. Now I'll do this setup. I don't see how they ever felt servicing this was a good setup. One remaining bolt to go, and it is right there. Can't even get you down there to see it, I don't think. Anyway, I'm gonna try and get it out. Man, what a time I had getting that last bolt out. Now I don't even know if we got enough room to slide the starter out of here. Oh yeah, there we go. That she be. That bolt there, that bolts to the engine, was a friggin' nightmare. Now we got to take this off of here, put it on this starter, and reverse the process. And it's the next day. Took a little breather. This thing stressed me out trying to get it out. Put the new bracket on. Now we just got to reverse the process. Get this back in. I think I'll put the top bolt in first. Then it's somewhat held in. This bolt is a nightmare to get in. Just the angle points down. So you can only get a little socket. Anything longer and it hits the hull. So this is definitely a challenge, and I would allow probably 3 hours. It's one heck of a job to get this thing in. So let's pop it in. All right, starter going in. Yes. Get around the exhaust. If that's possible this way. And then rotate it to the proper orientation. Then I need a bolt with Loctite on it. Okay, before I do anything, everything's clear. Disconnected the spark plugs. That bolt is just barely on. All right, so many phone calls. Where is the tether? Have the tether. Just gonna do a starter check, just to be sure, just a quick crank over. Fail, I gotta hook the wire on the starter. Wire engaged. Not liking what I'm seeing. Wonder if this has got a bad relay. Oh boy. It's just got more going on than a starter. That's the big question now. All right, I tightened the bolt on the starter and on the battery. Relay doesn't like it now. Jumping, I'll jump the relay. And there you go. So what does that mean? It wasn't the starter and there's some kind of electrical problem, possibly in one of these wires? Good question. All right, starter bolts are back in. Easier to put them in than it is to take them out. So now we're gonna try and squeeze the exhaust back in. I'm not putting the old starter back in because it was definitely weak. Now this is another toughie. Just gonna check. Yep. Beautiful. Okay, we're all bolted up there. I'm gonna get this water line on so I don't forget. One there, and then the one back there, which just goes on with the hose clamp. That's on, that's on. Everything's on there. The battery I had was pretty much dead. See if that cranks. No. Need to charge the battery. And this is the hardest part of the project, is getting this thing back in here. It's like, it'll fall in if you get it just the right way, like so. Any other way and it won't go in, and then I might have it upside down. Yeah, I think I do. See? Metal plate going on. Loctite on every bolt. And the cover goes on Seadoo facing you. Good so far. What else we got? Little update, it wouldn't crank even after charging the battery for like 20 minutes. I'm like, that's weird. So I pulled the plugs, crank her over, and tons of oil was coming out of here. So now I'm thinking this thing's got a bad crank seal. Oh, look at that. And that would explain all the oil in the bottom of this thing. And you know what that means. Pull the engine, change the crank. It's non-stop. He's definitely not going to be happy about this one. Oh boy. That's the worst I've ever seen. Must be totally pooched. One more time. Cooked. Oh boy. All right, well now I need a comment. What would you do in this case if this was your machine? You went through all that trouble and now you got a bad crank seal. That means pulling the engine and getting a new crank for 800 bucks and rebuilding the whole thing. Or would you send it down the road? That's my question. For me, I'd probably send it down the road because it doesn't have any reverse. So that really sucks. And what's the value of the machine when it's done? Not a whole heck of a lot. I got the customer coming down today to have a look and I'll show him what's going on. And it's kind of a bummer because you got the cost of the starter and the installation of the starter and then that major repair afterwards. So yeah, he's not gonna be happy. I'll keep you posted. And now it's off the trailer and on the lift. And I have resolved the issue with the engine and changing the starter on the guy. I decided to buy it from him. So he broke even and we got a machine with parts and a trailer, so everybody benefits from it. So I think what we're gonna do, pull this engine out, see what's going in on the bottom end. I don't think I'm gonna put this machine back together, but I do wanna know what's wrong with the engine so that if someone else needs an engine, we got one. So next video we'll be tearing this thing apart. Kind of a bummer, but in the end we turned it into a win. So anyway, till the next video, thanks for watching, guys.